Well, I thought it was a game of two halves, really. The first half, we struggled, especially a little bit offensively. That's, the thing I like about what we do is it's hard to play against. And it was looking right back at us. We couldn't get them off the field. There's a game of limited possessions. And it magnifies a third down if you don't execute or you miss a read or whatever, and you have to give up the ball because you may not get it back for 5 or 6 minutes. They were kind of committed to kind of stop the run, so we needed to throw the ball, and I was happy to see Justin after the first half. I think he settled down and hit some big plays in the passing game. We had a lot of guys who hadn't played, and early on you could tell there was a lot of nerves going on. But I think basically – we scored offensively every time we had the ball. We had 2 punts and a missed field goal. And you couldn't pull away. It didn't matter. You weren't going to get away from them because, to their credit, they were hanging on to the ball and they were answering and then making the next possession bigger and bigger. I thought that they came in, they had a good plan, they executed very well.
I think Justin hit like his last 8 passes in a
Yeah,
row.
he settled down a little bit. He had a shaky first half, not only in the passing game, but in some reads on the option game. And I thought in the second half he settled down. And, it's like I said, there wasn't a lot of turns. I just glanced down. We ran 59 plays. We averaged about 9 yards a play. So it was a question of being able to get the ball and get out there. The time of possession, they got us by 3 minutes. And that doesn't usually happen.
Smelter had one of those games that it's going to make this offense, hard to defense.
Yeah, he's a good player, and I thought Mike Summers made a big play there at the end to get the first down on the catch. So we got to find a way to get DeAndre the ball. He's a really good player. I said that in camp. He's had a good camp. He cramped up there in the fourth quarter and was out. And then, like I said, Mike Summers made a big play. And we got one more game, and then we'll get Darren Waller back, who's going to help that position a bunch too. He's had a great camp, and you get those 3 guys out there. They should be tough matchups for people.
Coach, talk about first Golden's return at the end of the half after they took the lead, and then what he means to his return on special teams.
Well, that was a nice return. He had a good return there. We didn't probably get as much out of the kickoff returns as we should overall. We had the one good one. The punt return there late was probably not a good decision. I mean, he made a play. Should have caught the ball in the air. You don't want to pick it up like that off of bounds. To his credit, he made a play, but that wasn't a very good decision, really.
What about the impact he's going to have on?
Well, if he, anytime you can change field position, and it's going to be great, and especially in a game like that. If you got a short field, it's going to be huge. We had some explosion plays. I mean, we had some big plays.
Can you talk about your thought process on the 2 fourth downs in the very first possession of the second half, particularly the one in your own territory?
Trying to jumpstart our guys. It's like a sleepwalking through. And the first one on third down, we didn't run the play. He took the ball and just kind of sneaked it for some reason. And I'm not sure he didn't do the same thing on the fourth down. He bobbled the snap. But just trying to wake them up a little bit. And then the one down on their end, the pass, we're kind of in no man's land there. I mean, it's too far for a field goal. And I thought the way they were playing, they were geared up to stop the run. We had a 2-on-1 on the flat player. I mean, he was either going to take the guy in the seam or take the out. So if you can throw it and catch it, it should be easy to hit. And, to Justin and Tony's credit, they executed nicely and caught the ball.
What happened on the busted play at the end of the first half where they got the long touchdown run, Wofford? Do you know?
Well, I think what happened without looking at it, everybody in the stadium knew they were going to run the ball, right? Yeah, except for us, I guess. I think truly what happened was I think the safety got up in there so tight he got lost. I think we were in man-free coverage or something was the call, and those guys ran off, and the safety got up in there, and the guy hit the seam.
Any of the young kids, freshmen, stand out to you today?
Without looking at the tape, I don't know. Probably more of them played on defense than offense. I mean, we had a plan to try to roll some guys on offense. You couldn't get it done. I mean, you had to try to score every possession. Couldn't roll them out.
It seemed like Tony, Zenon, and even Snotty had a couple big plays in the passing game for you and the run game. And
Yeah, well, Broderick taking that pitch was a big play going down the sideline. Tony's catch right before half. We'd like for Tony to get out of bounds. That's the second time he's done that. He did it last year. You'd think you would learn, but he made a big play. Actually, on that play, I think if we'd have thrown the ball to Michael Summers, it was probably a touchdown. So, I mean, that's kind of the way the first half went. We were just a little bit off on our keys and on our reads and that kind of thing. And, we settled down and we got to make a huge improvement from game 1 to game 2. Hopefully we will.
Any more questions for Coach? Special teams, I want to use your phrases, it was a mixed bag. I think he made some plays, but obviously he had the fumble that Jamal had and the missed field goal. What were your overall thoughts about how that
Well, I watched the tape. Dead average. Yeah. Didn't give up any big plays. Kick coverage wasn't great. The very first kickoff, we had the guy, and he ran through about 6 guys.
What do you know, or what do you think you know about the defense now? I mean, obviously you haven't watched film yet, but
I don't know what you're asking me.
well, just from what you saw, what were your impressions, or how did you feel like they played?
They made plays at times and gave up plays at times. I mean, made enough plays for us to win the game. We got enough stops. It's like I said, whatever the score is, you got to have one more than them, whether it's 7-6 or 39-38. If you look at the scoreboard from a point standpoint, we didn't give up a lot of points. You take away the one right before halftime, which you can't take away plays, but if you do, it would have been probably a different game. They're pretty good at what they do. It's like I said, and it's a great equalizer. I mean, we watched them on tape breaking them down. I mean, it's a couple years ago. There was 20-14 in the fourth quarter with South Carolina, 20-13 with Clemson. I mean, we're not the only team that they do that to. The nature of the way they play, if you don't convert on third downs on offense and you don't score touchdowns, you might not get the ball back for 7 or 8 minutes. And what it does is it puts an unbelievable amount of pressure on you from a play calling standpoint. It's hard to take chances sometimes. And early in the first half, we tried to throw it a little bit, and we're just off. He was just kind of off, and it got us behind. So in the second half, he was big when we needed to throw.
To that end, the way he was throwing in the second half, I think he was 8 for 8 after his first 7 throws. Is that kind of what you've come to expect from him? Maybe not to be perfect.
Yeah,
but
I
just,
think that I expected him to play better. I think he played better in the second half, and I think he'll play better in the next game. I think that he's practiced better than that. Now, the way he played in the second half, I think, is more realistic of the way he plays. I think he settled down. You got to remember the kid, missed a whole season when he was hurt. He hadn't played a lot. And we weren't playing somebody who didn't have an idea what to do. I mean, they see the stuff every day. They know how to play.
anything else for Coach? Do you know anything about Isaiah's question?
No, I don't.
All right, thanks, Paul.
All right, thanks.